I'm going to explore why the Pentagon has finally decided to come clean that we're being visited by ET craft. And I know absolutely that the full disclosure is right around the corner, because in Tom DeLonge's presentation, the high-level government insiders said that they are going to release footage of ET craft, and that the footage is going to be from the most sophisticated military equipment. In other words, it's going to be crystal clear. And I happen to have 100% confidence that once that footage is released, that will create a snowball, and that this full disclosure will occur. There will be a media frenzy once it occurs. Remember, this footage is going to be official footage from the government, and it's going to be declassified for the sake of them sharing it with us. So this will lead to disclosure. I'm not the only one who agrees that such footage will lead to disclosure. Even Stephen Bassett agrees with me on this. Here is a clip of Phil Hardy's film interview with Stephen Bassett titled Undisclosed. Roll it.
And let me tell you, I know for a fact that in the history of this field, there has never been a single instance of 1 foot of gun camera footage ever being provided by any government to the media. We've never seen 1 second of it, because that would be the ball game.
Before going into why I think the Pentagon may have chosen to disclose right now, I want to cover what the Pentagon has to lose by disclosing, and they have a lot to lose. The first problem the Pentagon is going to face by disclosure is, for one thing, there will be a great disruption to world society and to the world economy. Fossil fuel will be on its way out, because disclosure will inevitably lead to the advancement of technology, of free energy, 0 point, whatever you want to call it. Secondly, the free energy devices theoretically could lead to weaponization, and that's something the Pentagon is also going to have to be concerned with. Lastly, there will probably be some kind of shift in religiosity among the world. I don't know how exactly that will play out, but I just feel like the Pentagon does not like having anything be unpredictable. And disclosure is going to be extremely unpredictable. The second negative thing that the Pentagon is going to have to deal with in a post-disclosure world is the acknowledgement of the ongoing constitutional breach instituted by the military intelligence industrial complex. According to the Constitution, the president is the commander-in-chief of the military intelligence community. So he can see anything. If he, on a whim, says, you know, I want to go see the underground bases that house dead bodies, assuming that exists, he has to be allowed to do so. If he wants to know everything there is to know and read every file there is to read about what the government knows about the ET presence, he is allowed to do so according to the Constitution. But many believe, including me, that at least Stephen Bassett believes from the 1960s, that's when the presidents were not briefed any longer on the ET issue. This is completely unconstitutional. And once the disclosure occurs, the Pentagon is going to have a lot of explaining to do, and it's not going to be very comfortable for them. Someone like Grant Cameron is of the opinion that the presidents are actually briefed on the ET issue. I don't align with that viewpoint. I think that the presidents are not briefed, and many people believe that Bill Clinton tried to get briefed to know what's going on, and he said he doesn't have a need to know. The third issue that the Pentagon is going to have to contend with is that people are going to be genuinely upset when they realize that they've been lied to about the knowledge that we're not alone in the universe since the 1940s. In 2011, there were 2 petitions on the White House's We the People site. One asked the government to formally acknowledge an extraterrestrial presence engaging the human race. The other requested that the Obama administration immediately disclose the government's knowledge of and communications with extraterrestrial beings. This is the Obama administration's response to the petitions. The US government has no evidence that any life exists outside our planet, or that an extraterrestrial presence has contacted or engaged any member of the human race. Phil Larson of the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy wrote in a statement published Friday, November 4th. In addition, there is no credible information to suggest that any evidence is being hidden from the public eye. I have 3 words for the US government. USS Nimitz, 2004. As you can see, the Pentagon is going to have to deal with some very serious issues as a result of disclosure. I don't envy them at all. Consequently, there must be some very, very compelling reasons why the Pentagon has decided to disclose now. Let's explore all of those. Could it be that there is a coming event that the military intelligence industrial complex is aware of? Maybe they were tipped off somehow that the ETs are going to visit planet Earth, and so they want to be open about their knowledge prior to that happening. Now, many people believe that there is some sort of prime directive where the ETs have chosen not to overtly interfere with human society. But I would argue that is only for people like me and like you, most likely, unless someone from the inside is watching. How you doing? That has not been briefed or has not seen the crafts or seen the video footage. But what about people deep within the Pentagon, deep within Groom Lake, deep within the USAP programs who have complete verification? What would stop the ETs from communicating with these people? These people already know. So if the ETs communicate with these people, no prime directive has been breached. So what would stop the ETs from sending some sort of electronic message to the people deep in the underground bunkers or wherever they are and saying, look, it's been a long time. We are going to have an event occur at such and such date unless you disclose first. How do you want it to go down? It could be that the Pentagon has finally come to their senses and realized that at any moment, Vladimir Putin could disclose. Potentially China could disclose, or some other nation could disclose. Whatever nation discloses first will have a special status in the world, will have the greatest legacy the world has ever known, and will have greater influence because of that stature. Another possibility is that people who work in the Pentagon and who are in charge of the ET issue have finally come to their senses in yet another way. The world is in a precarious place in a variety of ways. What you must understand is that people working for the Pentagon, they're human beings. They have children, they have grandchildren. They don't want the world to go to crap either. At least most of them don't. There may be exceptions, but I feel comfortable assuming most of them don't. These are normal people. They shit sitting down and they piss standing up. Well, the men piss standing up, I shall say. Just yesterday, 15,000 scientists issued a warning to the world. And in that warning, this is specifically what they were concerned about: a decline in freshwater availability, unsustainable marine fisheries, ocean dead zones, forest losses, dwindling biodiversity, climate change, and population growth. There is one thing that has the potential to save humanity more than anything else, and that's technology. And until we are in a post-disclosure world, we will not receive the technologies that we have acquired through the examination of ET technology. They know this. They have children, they have grandchildren. Maybe they're like, you know what? It's about time. We need to save the planet for our damn descendants. The final reason I suspect the Pentagon has decided to disclose is because they don't want to wait to the last minute when it's inevitable, although they really have waited to the last minute, but they don't want to wait to the last minute. With the advent of private space exploration with Elon Musk and Robert Bigelow, with the advent of smartphones, which can take really good footage, if there's even some mild event where extraterrestrials come into our atmosphere and make themselves present, the truth embargo would then be over. So they are finally deciding to disclose because they want to do it in their own way according to how they see fit. And it's happening before your very eyes. I'm sure there are many more possible reasons they have chosen to disclose. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Give me your opinion down in the comment and tell me why you think they've chosen to disclose now. I make at least one video a week. You don't want to miss them. Please subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in a post-disclosure world.